Okay, so in this example here, just going to talk a little bit about confidence intervals and what they actually mean. So in the top graph, you can see these are two samples, right? So you got sample one, you got sample two, and these are the confidence intervals on these particular samples. So remember, if you have a small confidence interval, we're ultimately saying that that is a better representation of the population versus a large confidence interval that's more spread out, that um, that mean may not represent the population as well as, for instance, the orange bar here. So both of these samples overlap one another. They're probably coming from the same population is ultimately what we're saying. Now when we come down here and we look at sample one and sample two are very different from each other, and they fall outside of each other's confidence intervals. So there's two conclusions we can draw. Either they come from different populations, or they come from the same population, but one of them does not contain the population mean. Now, when you create a 95% confidence interval, 5 out of 100 are not going to contain the mean. So it's a pretty small probability that these do not contain the population mean. And ultimately, we're saying that they come from different populations. So I want you to think about here in the green, I've got your experimental research. You want the two samples to not overlap. So in essence, let's say we had this group of students who did a leadership training and this group of students who didn't do the leadership training, and we saw a shift in the mean of leadership characteristics or whatever it is you're measuring. And then you can say, hey, you know what? Our experiment actually worked, and we shifted the mean. They come now from a different population based on our experimental research. So hopefully that gives a little bit of an explanation of confidence intervals. We'll look. I'm not going to worry about you calculating them because we'll let the computer do the calculations for us.